with you. Oops. There you go. All right. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to Bazay Spiritual Healing Center. For those who are coming here for the very first time, we are a non-denominational spiritist center, and here we respect all religions, all spiritual traditions. So everybody's welcome to bring your thoughts, your questions. This is a safe place for us to discuss. We are all growing together. Before we start the announcements, we always begin our service with a prayer. So I would like to ask our dear sister Tanya to come up and give our opening prayer. Please make sure you mute your microphones if you're not speaking.
So thank you for the opportunity to pray together. Let us all embrace our hearts, our minds, and soul to connect with the mentor of this group, Dr. Bezerra de Menezes, and through him to our Divine Mother Mary and our Lord Jesus Christ. We thank you so much, Lord, for the opportunity to gather together in your name. Thank you for the blessings, the opening mind and hearts, so we may receive the seeds that our brother Luiz Lima is coming to sow in our hearts through his divine spiritual guides and mentors, and through the great codificator of spiritism throughout the world, our beloved Allan Kardec. We are so grateful, Lord Jesus, to be used, the good news to be spread in all over the world, to manifest God's will, God's righteousnesses, and his divine light and love. With your permission, Lord Jesus, with your guidance and blessings, we are so grateful and happily to start this new day today with gratitude and love. So be it, so it is. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you all.
Absolutely. Thank you, sister. Let me just okay. Okay, so thank you, dear sister. This is beautiful. And BSH Center is a member of the United States Spiritist Federation, and our spiritual beliefs are based around scientific, philosophical, and religious principles of Spiritism. And then, as Emmanuel, the spirit mentor of Chico Xavier, taught us, knowledge and love are the wings for our spiritual evolution. And that's the reason why this service is divided into two parts. The first one, we always have someone speaking and sharing findings from remarkable and qualified mediums and spirits. And I'll introduce our speaker in just a minute. But during this moment, it's really important that you participate, since your mentor is already working and supporting you in your needs while you are hearing the insights from the spirit. So we highly encourage you to have some piece of paper, so then you can take notes and keep reflecting on that along the week. We know that caring and working in these reflections is what will really sustain the energy that you are receiving while here at the center. And then in the second part, we are going to have a hands-on healing pass where our mentor will be working with BSH mediums and benefactors of the good, so then you can receive the healing energy. And that's why we encourage you to have a bottle of water with you. Now, please allow me to share our website where you can see all the opportunities that we have for us to be together and grow together. So here on our website, bshcenter.org/events, you have here all our meeting schedules. So on Sundays, we have the service and followed by healing passes. And in a daily basis, we have prayers every day, 6 p.m. Pacific time for 15-20 minutes. Everybody get together and we emanate positive thoughts. And of course, that it is in giving that we receive. So if you join us, you not only receive, but also sustain the energy of the planet. We also have fraternal counseling. This one is by appointment only. And usually we do that on Wednesdays from 4 to 7 p.m. But if you need any other time, do let us know. Or if you know anyone who is in need, we are happy. We don't have to go through anything alone. So we are here to be with you, pray with you, for you to vent and feel like you're not alone. I will update our next members meeting. It's going to be in September. But we also have a lot of book studs groups. So all studies begin around 6:30, right after the daily prayer. So on Sundays, we started in April the book Liberation. On Tuesdays, we are starting in August Memories of a Suicide, beautiful book too. On Wednesdays, we started this year Paul and Stephen. And then on Thursdays, we just started Jesus in the Home. All those books, most of them, you those are new chapters, and you do not necessarily have to know what happened before. So everybody's welcome to join us anytime. And even if you lost something, the group will help you to catch up really, really easily. So do join us, and we'll be happy to have you with us. We do have mediumship services. Those are closed. But just so you know, on Mondays we have educational principles of mediumship. You must take introduction to spiritism, and you must be invited for this group. So this one is closed. And then after that, we do healing services. We pray all together. So this is closed all for only for the mediums. But the most important thing here is, if you or anyone you know is in need of healing, do let us know. We'll be happy to put the person's name on the book, and will be part of our prayers. Usually the treatment takes 4 weeks, and we highly encourage the person to read the gospel during the time of the service, meditate, pray. So then we make sure that you're open for the healing that you're receiving. Um, and without further ado, let me introduce our speaker today. We are so happy to have you, Luis, and we adopted you already, so you are already on our on our agenda. We love to have you. It's always so good. And for those who do not know Luis, he was born and raised in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and Mr. Lima holds a degree in electronic engineering. In 1990, Luis moved to United States, where he began his journey on spiritism. Due to his vast knowledge in science, he became one of the most requested facilitators of Spiritism in both languages, Portuguese and English. And Mr. Lim is a renowned lecturer in Spiritist movement and participates in local and national seminars and events all year round. And today we are blessed to have him talking to us about the chapter 11 on the book Our Daily Bread. And the chapter is called The Good is Tireless. So thank you so much for being here with us, and feel free to take it away.
All right, thank you. The good is tireless, right? It doesn't seem like it is, because we look around and we don't see that happening. Unfortunately, there are different types of, circumstances, situations, problems all over the world. And we ask ourselves, not as necessarily spiritists, but as a humanity, we ask ourselves, where is the good? Where's the good in this thing? Where's the good in that thing? It becomes invisible at times for us. So why is Paul, because this is based on what Paul said, right? Why is he saying that good is tireless? So we need to go to the very beginning, because we cannot understand this message about good if we don't talk about evil, because they are connected, and we are going to see how they are connected to disconnect one from the other. That's the goal here. And it all comes back, if we go back in time, it all goes back to evolution. We are in different stages of evolution. Each one of us is in a different stage. We've all started on the same point, simple and ignorant, and our history starts there and goes to today, but it's different for everyone. So to understand this connection / disconnection between good and evil, we need to go back in history. So I'm going to share a few things, a few slides here. So just to make it easier in terms of visual. We're going to go back to the spirit scale. Spirit scale is something that Allan Kardec, with, of course, the concourse of the spirits, created in order to explain to us evolution. human evolution, spiritual evolution. So what this does is categorize spirits according to their level of evolution. There are 9 levels that you see here on the left side, coming from the less advanced, morally called impure, to the highest called pure, and everything in between. We are somewhere in this scale. We are in different points, but we are somewhere in the scale. And you can see there are different colors in there, and there's a reason for that. The bottom 4 items on the scale, the bottom 4 levels on the scale, or stages as we actually call, are shades of red. In the middle, we have shades of green, and on the top, we have a straight blue. Why are they? Why do we have 2 shades of colors, red and green? Because Allan Kardec explains to us that the 4 stages in the bottom of the scale, meaning the 4 stages who are less advanced morally, they are said to be third order spirits, also called imperfect spirits. And what are the characteristics of these spirits? So this is the first and most important for us to understand. Third order spirits live based on a predominance of material life over spiritual life. So materialism is more important than anything else. And because of that, these spirits have a propensity to do evil things. They are completely ignorant about good things, propensity to do evil things. It's almost when you go to the very bottom of the scale, like the impure, maybe the very beginning of frivolous, what you see is doing evil is the obvious thing. When it cannot be done, oh yeah, we'll do a good here and there. So it's almost like that, the mechanics for spirits at the low level of the scale. These third order spirits have a roughly intuition about what God is and he means. We cannot grasp exactly what it is, and Allan Kardec tells us that in the middle of these 4 categories, we have something called disturbing spirits. Well, these spirits have to have a spiritual habitat. The spiritual habitat for the spiritual habitat for spirits like this are orbs that we call trials and expiations. The earth is one of them. So we are essentially, great majority of the population, incarnated and discarnated, are third order spirits. We are here. That's us. So look at the second line here, propensity to do evil things. It's like when you look at the world out there, evil never stops. Every single day we have 50, 60, 100 bad news out there, and you say, well, is this never going to stop? That's exactly what this means, a propensity to do evil everywhere. When you go up on the scale, then we go into another order, which is called the second order, also called good spirits. And things start to change here. For third order spirits, the predominance of material life over spiritual life is a characteristic. For second order spirits, is the other way around. The predominance is spiritual life over material life. There is no intention to do any evil thing here. The desire is to do good all the time. So good, they are focused on doing good. They're not focused on doing evil. Not even evil is not on their radar, we could say. And what one of the great differences is the knowledge that they have about moral qualities. We, as third order spirits, we do have knowledge about moral qualities. The problem is we cannot use them in conjunction with our daily lives, with the things that we do. So we do evil things knowing that we are doing evil things because we know what the good things are, but we still don't do them. So that's a critical difference. Second order spirits will never, well, should I do good here? Should I do evil? there is no such thing for them, but there is for us, third order spirits. And on the top of the scale, we have first order spirits, which are, the absolute, which are Jesus-like. They are absolutely morally and intellectually developed. They only incarnate as a mission. We have to incarnate to improve. Okay, this is a very brief, simple overview of what the spirit scale is. And now we're going to use the spirit scale to actually, bring the information. When we look at this, what makes it difficult for us is to relate what's on the top to what's in the bottom. For example, love. Love for us is not the same thing that love meant for Jesus. Because he's talking about unconditional love. We're talking about love, of different forms, but never unconditional love. Same for good and evil. So we cannot, at the level that we are, love for us is one thing. We cannot grasp the idea of unconditional love all the time. We cannot grasp it. So from the bottom of the scale, it's very hard for us to understand and even grasp the meaning of the same thing at the top of the scale. Good and evil are the same. So evil is down here. This is the evil level. This is the good only level. From here, we don't have visibility enough to see this. There is no visibility. It's all hazy. We can probably, we are here, we can probably have visibility until here, but nothing more. Nothing like that, more than that. And why? The reason why we cannot is because we start from the bottom and try to make it to the top in terms of understanding and grasping ideas and concepts. We're never going to get there. Again, we don't have visibility for that. We need to do the other way around. Start from the top to understand the bottom. It seems like a paradox. So if I can't not see up here, how can I start over here and come down? Well, before we get into good and evil, let's talk about love, which is a little bit easier to understand, and the logic is exactly the same. So starting from the top, 100% love. I'm going to use mathematical terms, percent, because it's easier for us to understand. But what matters is the logic behind it. So over here on the top, we have 100% love, nothing less than that. And there's only one, that's God. There is no 99.9% love for God. It's 100%. Even if we don't grasp the idea, this is mathematics, okay? So 100% love. The most advanced spirits, the highly advanced spirits, are below God a little bit. They can't be on the same level. Otherwise, we would have more than one God. So down here, let's just say 99% good for these very high order spirits. So God 100%, down here have 99%, and you keep coming down. These are also more advanced spirits, but they are 98. These are 97. These are 90. These are at 80%. It keeps coming down. These are at 50%. These are 35%. These are 20%, and so on and so on and so on. So that's love. That starts at 100%, and love comes down to bare minimum. Now, the problem is, if I don't change the word love, and if I say love, I don't know if I'm here or if I'm here. I need to use a different word. Otherwise, things are going to get confused. Or I wouldn't have to say all the time, oh, this is a 35% love. Oh, this is a 95% love. It wouldn't work. We need to have words, distinct words, to refer to this love and this love. So we use words like love here, and for example, hatred here. Right? It's a word that defines love at this level. It's still love. It's still love. So you see, love and hatred are part of the same spectrum. One does not exist without the other. They're part of the same spectrum. So within that spectrum, we start from no love or hatred, and we go up and up and up and up, improve, get better, and we will get to 100% love or 99 point some percent love one day. So, but the important thing is they are part of the same spectrum. Good and evil is exactly the same thing. If we consider good over here, that's 100% good. There's only one God. Then you come down. Very highly advanced spirits at 99, spirits at 90, spirits at 80, and so on, so on, so on, so on, so. And spirits at 15%, spirits at 5, spirits at almost nothing. So you're going to say, how come this down here is good? And this up here is also good? Well, we cannot use the same words. Otherwise, we are creating the problem right there. So we use two words. We use good here, and we use evil here. That makes things clear. So love comes down, comes down, comes down, becomes evil, and comes down all the way to almost zero. Now, important. Where is, in which point, if I'm coming down the scale, where in the scale the name changes from good over here to evil over here? Very important. Where does it change? At 35%, at 71%, at 49.65%? Where does it change? And the answer is surprisingly interesting. It changes at the level that I am. So if I'm 35% here, anything from here down for me is evil. It's not the same for everyone. Everyone is at a different level. That makes things very interesting because we go back to the same thing. And then now we know that good and evil are part of the same spectrum. So when Allan Kardec tells us that evil is the absence of good, the absence means, yeah, I'm down here. I have not yet raised to a level that I can call it good. So anything up here, anything, and I have several different examples here. Any of these, anything up here has its seeds down here. So anything good has its seeds in bad things. That's why Jesus refers to the wheat, right? You have the bad things that grow with the wheat, but there's a point that you have to get rid of them. So this is a visual placement of the idea. So good and evil are part of the same spectrum. However, and this goes directly with the message on the book. If we are coming from the bottom to the top on anything, so let's consider evil here, all the way up, good here. There will be a point where I cannot call evil anymore. I will get to a point where, let's just say it's here. This is my point, for example. So from here, it's no longer evil. Evil is going out of my radar. I don't see it anymore. I only see good. I only see good. That means evil is limited. It's not infinite. It will disappear one day. You will be out of my radar. You will not be part of me anymore. So what becomes part of me? Good. And when does it end? It doesn't. It's tireless. It doesn't end. Because from this point on, I'm going to be doing good forever and ever. And I'm not going to get tired about doing it. because it makes sense not to be tired. When we are down here, oh yeah, it's difficult. There are excuses for everything. For the simplest form of, say, charity. Somebody comes asking for some money to buy a sandwich, for example, and then you're gonna go, I don't know this person. I could give the money. I do have the money, but hold on, come on. This person could go to, the bar next door and get a bunch of drinks. I don't know if I should do this. Look at our attitude. This in itself is evil because I'm not doing good. If I'm not doing good, I can't call it good. I have to call the other word, which is evil. So evil is at different levels. So it's good, but however, good never ends, and evil ends. There's a last day for evil. And that's for all of us. That's for all of us. We keep doing this thing, about the complaining that the world is evil. I only see evil things. Come on, we are in the middle of it. So performing evil, there's a point for all of us that becomes exhausting. You go like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. That's it. I'm done with that. So let me do the other thing. And the other thing is goodness. So goodness starts when we decide that we don't want to do evil anymore. It's not a divine decree that comes down and say, as of next Monday, you only do good. It doesn't work like that. It's when I decide. It's called free will. Now, the problem that we have with goodness is for the most of us, the great majority of us, we don't have goodness automated in our perispirit. It's not something that is automated. We have to think about it. Should I do? Can you imagine Jesus having the opportunity to do some good work, some good charity, some good in general, perform some good stuff? And he would just sit down and say, hold on, before I do this, let me think. Let me think, this person, does he deserve, is he dressed like this? Is he this way? Is he that? That doesn't apply because goodness is automated in his perispirit. The soul carries that to a point that the soul becomes that. He doesn't have to think. He doesn't have to make any strategy. Let me think about this. Let me do. No. We do. We do. And at times we decide not to go ahead and do good or charity or whatever in that sense. You see, for him, it's automated in his perispirit. So as we go up on the spirit scale, there's going to be a point where for ourselves, evil is going to become questionable. And performing good is going to start to make sense. That's when things start to change, because at the bottom of the scale, everything has an end. Everything has an end at the bottom of the scale. Everything is material. On the top of the scale, nothing is material. And you see, you cannot destroy what is not material. Up here, it's not material. You cannot destroy that. That's why we say that the spirit is immortal. It doesn't, you can't destroy anything here. You can destroy here because down here, things have forms, have a physical form, molecules, atoms, and that you can destroy. You can disrupt all these connections between anything, cells and atoms and everything. You are able to destroy down here. You're not able to destroy anything like here. That's why the spirit is immortal. It cannot be destroyed. So towards the top of the scale, things start to be unlimited, infinite. Evil is finite, has an end. So does hatred, cooperation, war, hell, all these things. Evil seeks personal interests at the bottom of the scale. Evil seeks personal interest. Good seeks collective interest. Good is for all up here. Evil is for me down here. Oh, everything that seeks personal interest is against the law of God that we have to learn as we go up in the scale. So gearing up to perfection, right? Going up to perfection requires us to stop going against the law of God. So as we move to the top of the scale, coming from third order spirits, becoming second order spirits, this will make us undergo difficulties, trouble, adversities, and these difficulties are mostly coming out of our own soul. These are things that we produce ourselves. Nobody produces difficulties for us. There are no enemies in the sense that we use the word in general. The enemies are not people. The enemies are hatred. The enemies are envy. The enemies intolerance, impatience, and war. That's what the enemies. The people that we call enemies, they're not enemies. They are those telling me, giving me a message. Listen, this thing here, you gotta work on it. I usually call the people that we call enemies, I call them the battlefield. That's where I go to defeat the enemy. If you want to defeat the enemy, you got to go to the battlefield, fight against the enemy, and achieve victory per se. Same thing here. How can let's say I'm very, I don't know, impatient person. How can I defeat impatience? Going to a desert island doesn't do it, because when I get out of the desert island, I'm still impatient. I can only defeat impatience by going to the battlefield. Where is the battlefield? Where do I go? Close to the people to make me impatient when I'm around them. And we usually do exactly the other way around. We usually don't want to be close to these people that we envy, that we don't like for some reason. Those are the battlefields. Those are the people I should be, shoulder to shoulder with them until I defeat the enemy, which is internal. If we don't do this, we're going to be doing evil things forever. We're never going to be able to go up the scale. So we don't reach good, we don't perform good deeds because we have to deal with things from the past that we don't want to deal with. It's easier to say that Joe is my enemy than to say I envy Joe because I have a problem with envy. And if I have a problem with envy, how can I defeat it? Desert Island doesn't defeat envy. I have to be more around Joe than I used to. And right now it's 0 because I don't like him. So I need to be around him a little bit, then a little bit more, then a little bit more, to a point where this is not going to bother me. So envy dissipates. Joe is not my enemy. Mary is not my enemy. Carl is not my enemy. No person name is my enemy. The enemy is what prevents me from doing good and keep doing evil things. Envy is evil. Impatient is evil. For me to do good deeds, I need to leave that behind. And that's obviously one of the great challenges that we have. So for as long as we sustain a psychosphere that is compatible with low order spirits, we are going to stay as low order spirits. Instead of connecting to ourselves in that way, we can do different. We can, if we know the outcome, if we know where we want to get, right? We can live up to what we can be instead of living up to what we are. If we live up to what we are, we're going to stay where we are. So we want to live up to what we can be. How do I know what I can be? Well, Jesus, study, spiritism, prayer, performing good deeds, small things. Of course, everything starts with baby steps. Small things, a little good thing here, a little good thing there. It will make us feel better. Happiness is not by divine decree. Happiness is a consequence, is a byproduct of making other people happy. And that's simple to understand. For example, sometimes you just make some people happy for something that you wouldn't even imagine. Let's just say it's a friend's birthday, say, and then you give him a present. That for you, oh, maybe this person is gonna like this, and you buy the present. It doesn't mean much more than that for you. When that person gets the present, they go in such a state of awe, and sometimes they cry because it means a million times more for that person to receive the present than for us to give the present. When that happens and you see that person in that state for, let's say, 30 seconds, okay, because it doesn't last more than that, during those 30 seconds, there is no bad boss, there is no bills to pay, there are no bad people, there are no disasters in the world, nothing. You just went into an awe state. That is happiness. You were completely happy for 30 seconds. And then we go back to our lives. But why did I go into this state of happiness, full happiness? Because I made somebody else happy. You see, we can buy things, we can have things, nothing of that will bring us happiness. You will maybe for a few hours, maybe for a few days, but not as something that is fulfilling. So it's relatively easy for us to do simple things that are going to have a tremendous impact on us as a consequence of making for people things for other people. And Spiritism is very clear about it. The Spiritist message is very clear on everything. It's very black and white. Because Spiritism is of course, is a philosophy. Philosophy is questions and answers. How about 1,019 questions in a book? That's exactly what it is. So we asked for years and years and years and centuries for these answers, but they only came in 1857. And now that things are clear, it changes our perspective. It changes our perspective because I can do things because you tell me to, but then might not make any sense to me. And okay, no, he's asking for it. She's asking for it. Yeah, let me do it. Because, maybe there's a friendship, maybe you like the person. Now, if we do things because we know why, it will change completely. For example, sometimes you just want to, we use this expression a lot. Oh, I want to kill that person. It doesn't necessarily mean physical, but it's close enough. I want to kill that person. Now, would we do that? In the past, yeah, why not? It's easy. Just get the sword through their body and we're all done. Go home. Let's get to the next one. Today, with the knowledge that we have, we can't do that. Not that we cannot, we can, we have free will. We would never do that because now we know why. Moses tells people don't kill because it's in the 10 Commandments. So he reads out loud. But those people don't know why. We know why now. So because we know now, it's a lot more likely that I'm not going to do it. So things that we understand why they should or should not be done will make us do or not do accordingly. So why should I do good? Right? because doing evil is not working. Basically, it's not working. Doing evil has consequences. The more evil I do, the more I'm staying behind. The more I sustain an evil psychosphere, or the more I help sustain an evil psychosphere, the worse it's going to get for me. The worse is going to be my recovery process. Yeah, I'm just undermining my own evolution. It's not good for me. I'm the first one who will pay a price for it. Doing bad things for other people don't necessarily make them pay a price. I am going to pay the price. So I think that's the whole idea behind the evil thing, the good and evil thing. So, stop, or to, let's say, becoming tireless of performing good deeds. I think we mentioned some of them. Prayer, staying close to the higher realms. That's done by prayer. Study. Spiritism is a tremendous source of study on spiritual life. We need to take actions like concrete acts of kindness, not reading in books. So if you're kind, that's nice. It's not this, it's the attitude. It has to be put in practice. And goodness is a habit before it becomes a character trait. It only becomes a character trait when it gets automated into our perispirit. We don't have that. We don't have goodness automated in our perispirit. Because if we did, how could we do any evil action? It wouldn't be possible. If goodness is part of my perispirit, I wouldn't be able to produce any evil action. So obviously, goodness is not part of our is not automated in our perispirits, not yet. So I think that's the message I wanted to bring today regarding, good is tireless. It is, and it's nice.
Thank you so much, Luis. It's a it's a very interesting topic because I think, at least for me, like seeking the good is something that we should all be doing. And like as you were speaking, it reminded me of a sentence from the book Don Quixote from Miguel Cervantes that has nothing to do with spiritism, but it's interesting because he says something that is very well explored by Joana de Angelis, which is the self-awareness. And it is, I know who I am and who I can be if I choose to.
Exactly.
So I think that, as you were saying, like we've been studying spiritism for so long that to the point that we have the knowledge, doing the good becomes a decision, right? Like, so as you just said, it's still not automatic in our spirit. So we have to constantly reflect if we are doing the good. And I think that it's interesting that you just brought that because, like at some point, like who are we deciding to be, right?
Yeah.
Like we don't need to know which level we are. It's important that we just do, as you said, like the turning point of evil and good is where we are. Look at like that's very interesting. So
And
yeah.
it could be very down here, and we are all proud. Oh yeah, I'm doing good, and you're down here, and
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So and I think, and you know what? I think that it's hopeful at some point because regardless of where we are, God is so benevolent that regardless of our imperfections, we can still do the good if we have the right intentions, if we are, like if we are doing to the best of our knowledge, to the best of our capacity, like we are doing what we can. So I think it's yeah, it's inspiring. Thank you, brother. Thank you so
I
much.
always love a new good perspective on how to see. And this was absolutely marvelous way of seeing good and evil. As that battlefield you called it, your the envy and imperfections and impatience. Oh man, that is gold to me. You, you let them come at me. My son and all the young kids, they don't bother me until something's wrong, and I let them have it full force. And this weekend was a perfect example for me, always reminding them to feed their mind, feed your mind, because otherwise you just like a dog chasing your own tail. You've got to put some food in there in order to get a different perspective, in order to see why you're here, in order to change how you see life. You know, anyway, the things that went on this weekend were opened the door for me to give that back to him again. And my son, of all people, was able to see his growth from a friend of his that hasn't been catching up to where he's going. You see what I mean? And that was really, really beautiful to see that he knows he needs to keep moving and doing good. Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, the
know,
idea. Yeah, go ahead.
now you go.
No, you go. You go.
I will say, I don't know if a Hindu or Hinduism or Buddhism, they have the explanation when the dogs go to run behind the tail. Do you know that? It is a symbolism of the lower self chasing the higher self.
Hmm.
The lower self chasing the higher self. So it's the way the dog, I think, come from Oral Michael Ivanov. And then it is the way you're chasing the higher intelligence is when the dog symbolize that. So exactly like what taught today, and it's always a therapy. Listen to you, bringing us to our level of concrete where we are, and making us question a lot. Of course, we want to go more in the top, but we still in the middle. Now learning, growing, and thank you for answering so many questions today. Because sometimes we say, remember Jesus said, we, even spiritism question about that. Does Jesus really ask that question to God? How long I will stay with them? And they said, and I think John, somewhere there, Jesus was like he was tired of being with us, and he said, "Father, how long I will stay with them?" No, but Spiritism question that since Jesus know his mission very well, he would not asking that question. And sometimes I say, "Oh my gosh, how long I still need that to be on this situation, on the same task, the same lesson, no?" And you did answer all of us. Thanks so much for. It's a lot of lessons, and one thing when we are full of goodness, more now more goodness than evil. You're so good on explaining that we are able to understand more when we study spiritism, or even Christian, all the Christianity teachings. We will learn before we want to kill, but today we will not. We have consciousness to see what we can do with this, what can happen with us, and we will not do. But it's more in the mind, the thoughts level make us more evil than good. And that is the point that we must be more aware of what is coming through your mind, because we can do a lot of evil in our minds. Maybe we stop over here to the mouth, but the heart is full of resentment, anger, hatredness, all that used to touch us. So it is a very good topic today. The way you brought today make us evaluate in every level, no? If you're here down the earth in a lower level to learn, to grow, to be on the top close to God, how far I am, no? How far I am to, like many people say, I'm not coming back to reincarnate and because I feel I don't need to be here. But where can I be? No? I really appreciate all the time. Please come back more often.
I,
Thank you for the very good lessons.
you're welcome. I'm gonna add something. The guy who is down here, the person who is down here, they don't think they're doing evil. Okay, they're doing good from their own standard. Okay, they're doing good because they don't have the absolute view of the scale. So they are here, they're doing good. Now, if remember, as we said, they are doing good. It's 5% good, but it's good. That's why Spiritism teaches that evil and good are on the same spectrum. They are the same thing in different, in mathematical terms, in different quantities, because it's just easier for us to understand. But the guy here does good. This guy does good too. This guy is also good. And this guy is also good in their own levels. So when we are here and we hear somebody down here say, oh, I'm a good person, this guy here respects that because he knows what's going to happen. He knows there's a tremendous hard path ahead, but let's pray for the person. Let's wish him well. And so we know why. We have the explanation why it should be this way.
Thank you, Luis. Thank you so much for everything. I really enjoyed it as well. What really lit up for me is something also I'm practicing, and you mentioned it in your own way, is that the good is behind or is within the ignorance, the so-called evil.
Mhm.
So and for me, it's important because if ignorance comes my way, and of course I know I'm ignorant, but now if it comes from the outside or I perceive it coming from the outside, if I practice benevolence, which is part of charity, which is charitable, then I can see that behind it, there's really just love. So the love is always there. And it's like the chaff of the wheat, or sticky notes on the light or whatever, they sometimes obscure the love and the light. But again, with benevolence, I can actually tune into it. It makes my life easier, and with myself too, of course. And then I also really enjoyed, the reminder that all enemies are within.
Yeah.
All
One thing
of
that you
us.
mentioned, you see the love is in all different levels. If you get the guy that is here, okay, he practices domestic violence. So he goes to police and so forth, and they ask him why he's here, right? Why did you do that? His answer is because I love this woman.
Exactly.
Do you see? It's love
Yes,
at 5%. That's why we cannot use the same words.
exactly.
So evil is like the seeds for goodness.
It's all together. It's all one.
Altogether, it's part of the same spectrum.
Yeah. And that's really important for us. And that's what unites us.
Yeah.
Because it's what's the core, which is love, which is the light. And that's where we are united. And again, with benevolence, seeing the good in others, we can tune in and feel less separate. So yeah, thank you so much, Luis.
Okay.
And then reflection, no? One reflects others, no? So it's amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Another perspective, at least for me, is as you were giving your presentation, I kept thinking, I don't know how much of this I really want to know. I'll tell you why. Because if you know, it means you got to be responsible.
Yeah.
Right? And so, and for example, when you mention, somebody asked for money or whatever, and you decided how much you're going to, whether or not they deserve it, and all that kind of stuff. Of course, you paired it with you want a blessing from God. You don't want God to be going through all those changes. But I have to say, so part of that struggle is, for me, I do tend to give. I don't necessarily give a lot, but I do tend to give, like, often. And I recall several times somebody asking for money, getting the money, and then driving off in a Escalade. So that messes with me, with who I give to and whatever. But what helped me, believe it or not, was a little girl who wrote this thing about giving to the poor. And I think she might have been 12. She might anywhere between 8 and 12. I'm gonna look that up later. It was anyway. And she wrote this thing about giving, and it affected me so much because you don't know what people are going through. I'm one of those guys who started off with, I see somebody with a dog and they're asking for money. I'm feeding the dog and the person. But another perspective is that that dog helps that person. And that changed me. And that little write-up that little girl wrote changed me. So now I try not to look at what the person's going to spend, just do the giving and go.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know? But anyway, I enjoy it.
And when you do this, you're in peace. If you have to think, should I do, should I not do? You're not in peace. Peace, there's a tremendous turmoil.
Exactly. So I appreciate your presentation for that.
Any other comments or questions for Luis?
Yes,
Go ahead, Mohsen.
thank you for your presentation. And I had two questions. First is, you said that Moses said, don't kill. And at that time, the people did that, but they didn't understand. Now we know why. I don't believe that we know that. Still, we don't know. If we knew that, we didn't kill anybody. And knowing is not to read that, is not to learn that from the books or from the environment. Now is to believe that, to see that we are all brothers and sisters, that we are all from one source. And that is, most of us, we don't know that still. And about what was very interesting for me and was enjoyable, talking about the unconditional love. When we are born, I think we have all the highest love, 100% that to say love within us. And that is like we are the mirror that the sun shines in us, or God shines within us. But the cloud, what we learn from the environment, from the family, from the school, from the church, and all other covers this mirror that we have in between us. And then we cannot see the truth. And that is that Jesus says we should know the truth. And the truth is the cover, and they try to cover as more as is possible. Then we clean, purified our heart from this dirt that is covered that, and the sun shines again, then this love, this unconditional love can come higher and higher and will be 100%. Thank you very much.
No, you're welcome. Yeah, when you say that we don't know, for example, the killing, we don't know, the knowledge that we have available doesn't make us know, right? I can read something in a book, or I can be taught a lecture, and knowing in the spiritual sense is living through it. So I have free. I could know that killing, it's going to be a disaster for me, for example, but I still kill because I have free will. Do you think, for example, that somebody, let's say the simplest crime ever, somebody's going to steal the purse of an old lady, right? Which is supposedly an easy target, okay? So they don't simply go and do it. No, they have to put a strategy in place. The strategy is, let me look around. There's no one. the person is this and this, when I get the purse, I'm gonna have to follow this direction. Oh, no, 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 not this direction. Maybe this one is better. You see, there's a tremendous strategy for such a simple crime. He knows he's not doing right. Otherwise, he wouldn't do the strategy. The problem is he's choosing wrong over right because of free will. So he knows. Knowing, yes, he knows, but he still doesn't want to apply. So he knows in terms of material life, but not in terms of a spirit. It hasn't been automated into his spirit yet. Otherwise, he would never even think about stealing the old lady's purse.
Thank you. But I think in spirituality, oh, sorry. Oh, I think in spirituality, knowing is to observe, that we have observed ourselves, we have experienced us by ourselves, not by hearing from the other or not by training from the other, learning from the others. We have to observe ourselves. We have to take it with our consciousness. And when the consciousness is closed, is dark, then we know that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Mosen. Thank you, everyone. This was beautiful. Thank you for inspiring us, Luiz. We are heading to the end of the first part, so let's take 2 minutes break, and then we'll be back just for us to do the healing parts, the healing service. Luiz, you are more than welcome to stay with us. We just do a prayer. Yeah, and just make sure that you have your bottle of water with you, and we'll see you back in 2 minutes. Stretch your legs.
I need to leave. I need to go. Okay.
Okay. Thank
All
you
right. Thank you very much, guys.
so much for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thank you, Steve, again. Steve, Luis, thanks so much. God bless you. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
For being here with us. Thank you. Appreciate that.